One of those things I get asked a lot by people who don't ride bikes is like, how do you ride them? So I'm not going to go into the check in my rear view mirror, doing a blind check and moving out to do the filter, checking no one's in right as I'm going past the turn-in. I'm spotting the truck up ahead that's going to need more room. Has he got room? Yes, he has. Filtering past that traffic lights, make sure no one's turning. Truck coming other way, again hasn't got room, pulling into traffic. Turning on the right by the trees, make sure you don't filter here. Van, a cyclist on the right as well. Car coming out maybe. Car in front moving out, checking rear, can filter past at lights. When I say checking rear, that means I'm making sure there's no other motorbike coming up, or moped or whatever, coming up on my rear when I'm filtering. You'll find a lot of new riders, when they start filtering, they're pulling in and out, concentrating so much going forward, making progress, that they don't check their rear for, other bikers, shall we say. And that's a rule for when you're new. Always be aware that bike in front of you may not have seen you. So if you're trying to filter past them or overtake them on a filter, be very, very careful. Right, waiting for light. It's been a bit naughty. Starting to move as they turn green. That is just to get away from the traffic. Like I say, a little bit naughty, but it's just safe at the end of the day. As long as there's no pedestrians or anything around. Right, setting herself up for the filter up ahead. Check there's no cars turning across the road, and there isn't actually enough room. You can see a biker, you might have saw him, he was already on the filter stream. Now this is a dangerous filter because you actually cross into the path of oncoming traffic, so you have to make sure there's no cyclists or anything, or big lorry drivers, or other bikers. Right, there we go. Now this is, like I say, a dangerous filter, and you have to be very aware that the traffic in front of you has to give way, because they also cross here, so you're filtering, so your eyes are dashing backwards and leftwards and all around all the time. Don't move forward, thank you. I've missed my filter gap, so I'm going to push in, which isn't nice, but never mind. Well, squeeze through. Watch out for cyclists. This 4x4 driver, what the fuck is he doing? Cyclists on the right and left holding everybody up. They've got right away. They're smaller vehicles, remember. Right, even though I'm allowed to ride the cycle route, be aware that cars will pop into it at the end, so signal right, indicating you're coming out of that lane in plenty of time. Setting myself up for the next set of lights. So I know I want to go straight across there, even though I'm on the far side of the lane, I know the lights and I can switch lanes as I go around the corner. Very important I get to the front of the lights to do it. Green man has gone out, so I know the lights are going to change shortly. Put into gear, get ready, find the bite point on the clutch. Lights are changing, be careful of red light jumpers, it happens. Cyclist in front, he has right of way. We will not make the lights, make sure I'm in a good position to leave the lights. Green man has gone off. Lights for the other set of traffic is still green. Changing now, you have red light jumpers. Lots of them. So those last three cars all jumped to the lights. Can filter down the middle here, not advisable, will get stuck between traffic. So wait and feet around the outside. Again, checking other bikers or scooters haven't come up my inside or outside. Be careful with the filter here, because cars will argue on my left and right about who has priority, because this all merges into one. Filtering along the outside isn't really an option, and is this bus and that are going to play chicken. Whew. Is he thinking, the driver, or signalling? Do not filter past this box, it's deadly. Lorry come in, do not start filter. Right, traffic lights going up. Again, do not start filter. Remember, you cannot filter through these zigzags. Turning to the right, lots of people don't bother. Again, delaying the filter. Right, let's go. Checking my rear, making sure there was nothing there. Beware of crossing point. Right, set of lights up ahead are red, so there's no point pushing at the moment because there's two sets. I already know the route. Keeping the bike to a steady crawl, but not too close to the car in front in case they suddenly jam their brakes on for pedestrians walking across in front of them. Sorry about that. Light is green. Notice when I'm not filtering, I hold my position. I don't ride too far out to the right or left. This is to stop car drivers in London. They will, if you leave a gap, they will push their car into it, regardless that you're, they're supposed to treat you as a small car. So I'm retaining, my position on the road to make sure other car drivers can't do that. Now, again, I'm not filtering here, simply because I know the route. It's possible you could do, but it's a little bit dangerous. We had a crossing here, so you'd be constantly in and out of the traffic on the filter, so don't bother. And there's a couple of right turns. Now the lights in front of me are red. Which way is this car going? This car's going to the left, so we can go straight to the front. Again, watching out for pedestrians crossing between cars. I'm watching out for that taxi who's sitting across the lights in case he tries to jump him. Pedestrian on our right crossing. Is she? Yes, she is. She's jumping across. Zebra crossing up ahead, turning on the right up ahead. Pedestrian crossing, or easing off the throttle. No brake required. Watching out for a van in front. Is it turning? No. Yes, he doesn't know. Checking my rear and moving into an overtake on the lights. The van is blocking view for pedestrians, so make sure when I go there is no one running in front of him. He doesn't have a signal light on, so hopefully he's not going to suddenly side smack me. Another biker is behind me. Pedestrian is crossing in front of truck, may brake. There's pedestrian. Turning on the left, car in front, will filter now. Beware of pedestrian crossing. Remember, you may filter on these up to the leading vehicle. Cyclist in front and bus pulling out. Motorbike behind me didn't follow through on the filter, so that gives me some breathing space. Now I want to turn left at the lights up here, so I'm checking my inside because I'm going to do a little sneaky little thing. Is the cyclist clear? Actually, let's go around the outside. Beware of car coming out. Now beware of cyclists. Signal clearly. Ooh, is that taxi driver going straight or... Oh. Check no cyclists come up my inside before I turn. Passenger door open, she's moving. Not waving at me if you wanted to know that. Right, dip in the road, avoiding car turning round. Well, van turning round, braking. Do I need to brake? No, brake, engine braking is enough. Bus, passengers crossing road, do not speed past. There we go, look. Zebra crossing, you have to give way. Come on, guys. Turning right at the roundabout. Making sure there's nothing behind me. Making sure there's nothing coming across the roundabout. Check in front to make sure they're not jumping either. Even though van's clear, make sure no one's crossing. Bus in front of van, so you've got two high vehicles. If you're going to do the filter pass, be aware you will not see if something's crossing the road. Filtering, checking my rear, checking my front, and doing it slowly. If a high vehicle is stopped, there may be the reason, like people crossing the road, etc. Car in front turning right, no signal. Nope, changed their mind. The car in front was actually going to do an illegal manoeuvre and go round the islands, but changed their mind after the refuse truck moved forward. We've got mixed signals. Is there room to filter to the front? Yes, there is, so we'll take the filter to the front of the lights. Be warned that a lot of drivers here will race away from this light section. Red light jumper. So you have to be very careful at lights not to shoot off too quickly, especially in central London, because you will get a lot of car drivers that will jump the red light. Zebra crossing. Truck is signalling and moving. Car pulling out, no. Car in front has moved over. Is that because I'm here or because they are just mucking around? Looks like they're fiddling with something on their dash. Bus is pulling out. Usually I do stop for them. Crossing, someone. Car is turning right at crossing. Going to filter down the inside to get past them. Back to my row position. Checking my rear, ready for filter. Turning on the left, make sure nothing's coming out before I filter past. Crossing, someone on it. Do not go past the high top van, he is the lead vehicle. Again, getting it ready for the next junction, which is a mini roundabout. Lots of traffic. You can see it's blocked on the other side. Be aware, car turning. Van should pull out now in front, as he does. Be aware of rear vehicles approaching and have an exit strategy, i.e. down the cycle lane if possible. Alright, checking pedestrian crossing. All clear, we're off. Now you've got traffic islands, make sure no one's on them. Turning's on our right and left. Again, no cars entering or exiting. Bus up ahead and cyclist. Cyclist moving out for bus. A truck in front of the bus. Bus is still not moving out, but there is a turning and lights are changing. Check rear before moving across. Moving across allows me to pull away from the lights and get in front of traffic. Cyclist is jumping. In front of traffic, clear road. Much nicer. Lights are green, but pedestrian walking across road, plenty of time. Lights in front of this one are red, prepare to get into position. End of my journey, really. I finish up here today because this is where I'm working in this area. So that's a sort of guide to what I'm thinking when I'm riding. Now that's normal riding, that's not aggressive riding. Aggressive riding, you're thinking totally different, you know. When you're doing things aggressively, there's a lot more left to chance. Right, van is on my arse, even though I want to turn left. I've signalled, he's still on my arse. Checking my rear. And basically, that's it.